Good afternoon and welcome to the program Midday Discourse on Global TV, coming your way live and direct from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. On today's edition of the program, we'll be taking a look at integrity in our electoral process in the country. And of course, election is on and off, but we need to get it right. And the Executive Director of Africa Electoral Integrity Initiative is my guest this afternoon right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. And I'm referring to Dr. Daniel Omofoma. He will be giving us certain requirement that is needed to reposition our electoral process to meet global standard as far as democracy is concerned. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll be meeting Dr. Daniel, who is already live with us here on Global TV this beautiful day to take a look and find solution to the ongoing political situation in the country. Welcome to the program, Midday Discourse on Global TV. And I am Clinton saying, please join us and don't go away. Glad to have you back on the program. Let's go straight. Since the return of democracy in 1999, Nigeria has made progress as far as election and democracy is concerned in the country. But we are told from experts that there is still room for improvement. And to look at such improvement this afternoon on Global TV, I have the pleasure of welcoming on board Dr. Daniel Omofoma, who is the Executive Director of the African Electoral Integrity Initiative, putting the entire continent of Africa under his initiative and his program. Doctor, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, and good day, viewers.
Okay, when we say Africa Electoral Initiative, what exactly are we talking about? Africa seems to be very, very big, 54 countries.
Yes, as a matter of fact, electoral integrity is critical to free, fair, and credible elections. And Africa, over time, we have almost the biggest democracy in Africa, Nigeria, I must say. And the integrity of our elections is critical to our national, regional, and even continental development. If we cannot ensure that the stakeholders, the people involved in our electoral process, meet up with the minimum standards and they apply the global best practices in organizing and managing our elections, then we are not sure of democratic development. So it is very important, and that's the reason why we at the African Electoral Integrity Initiative were here in Abuja working with the federal government, the Office of the Political Research and Constitutional Matters, that is the presidency, to see how we can rally round and bring together the critical stakeholders, not only the election management body, but the law enforcement organizations that are involved in electioneering process, to see how we can strengthen their capacity and ensure that they apply the minimum standards, and also ensure that the integrity of the process, the materials, and even the technology is not compromised.
The charity begins at home. Some few days ago, you were seen with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. What exactly were you telling the SDF?
Okay, yeah, we've been in collaboration with the Nigerian government since December 2022, before the February general elections, presidential election. And on the 6th of this month, the Secretary to the government inaugurated the Electoral Integrity Promotion Alliance. In attendance, we had the diplomatic corps, the U.S. government, all the law enforcement agencies. And we collectively have a task to strengthen the capacity of all the critical stakeholders, right? If you don't have the stakeholders working together, then on the day of election, you might have issues like we've seen. Our elections are come and gone, but We have a lot to learn. We have a lot to fix. So the government, in its wisdom, felt there was need to bring together the stakeholders, and we unveil and decide to roll out the EIPA, which is the Election Integrity Promotion Alliance. There we have all the critical stakeholders. Then we're going to talk about how to best strengthen the process, bring in the right technology, to build the capacity of the personnel involved in the process.
Yeah, when you talked about building capacity, it means there are certain steps that you need to redeploy to achieve this. What are some of these steps your organization is putting to ensure that our democracy get to the standard?
Okay, first, capacity building will focus on human capital development. Technology will always play its role. But trust me, you and I know if I take off your SIM card off your phone is not going to work. I can't call you. I can't even text you. So this means we are concentrating on the people manning the technology. That is where the process starts from. If we cannot bring in extra values, take for instance, elections are coming, people, stakeholders, critical stakeholders, they see it as a time, a period to make money. Because after the elections, they are not recognized, there are no other values. The last time the government honored about 400 and something Nigerians,
yes,
and none was honored for contributing to the sustainability of democracy. None was honored for contributing to ensuring free, fair, and credible elections. So we want to put the people, we want to put the...
But most of them were politicians. You said the politicians are not the people. Some of those were honored were serving politicians.
No, when I mean the people involved in the electoral process, like the NYC corps members, the INEC staff, the ad hoc staff, the police operations that are deployed to the field. After the electioneering process, we're supposed to decorate them. We're supposed to appreciate them. We'll put their integrity on the line. Because if I'm a uniformed personnel and I have to transport myself all the way from Abuja to Imo, for instance, and I don't have means of coming back, then I can compromise what is right in front of me to put monies in my pocket to come back. So we have to look at what is the integrity of the people handling the process. What is the integrity of the NYSC holding the beavers machine? What is the integrity of the police or the civil defense corps that are within the electoral space? What are the values that we're adding to them? Because this is a national assignment. They are not recognized, they are not celebrated, they are not even taken care of properly. So we have to do that change orientation by making sure that the day you're shortlisted to go out on the field and act as an ad hoc staff or a full-time staff of the electioneering process, you have your integrity on the line. This means, I'll give you an instance. I have a friend who will say our politicians, they only listen to our religious leaders.
Okay.
Yes. So now, we want to put the integrity of the people, not the technology, not the materials, the people handling the materials, the people manning the technology on the line, and appreciate them afterwards.
Dr. Dan taking a different twist there and ensuring that even those involved should be properly, adequately compensated. With my little knowledge, I know that there used to be fund for that purpose. But let's come back, Dan. The word democracy, the system democracy, is new to our culture. It's new. We can't take that away. So what steps are we gradually taking to make this a household name? There are certain Nigerians who think they have no role to play in democracy.
First, democracy starts from our homes.
Okay.
I'll tell you, up in the north, you see an average, let's say, a Hausa Fulani man has got 5 wives and 4 boys. So there's no way there won't be politics in that family.
In governance.
In governance. To make sure that if the 4 boys, there are 4 mothers who have to put them through, make sure they have all the right knowledge and set to achieve the right things in life and also to impress their parents. And slowly, democracy is something that if we don't get the process right, take for instance, if we select the wrong person, that's no matter what we're going to say, he might not perform. So the process of selection of public office holders, the electioneering process, is critical to sustaining democracy.
critical to sustaining democracy. I hope that Nigeria one day will get it right. Coming back in 1999, a lot of water has gone under the bridge, but from my own assessment, I think we are in the right track and, of course, heading to perfection. This afternoon, finding an answer to issues that have to do with the integrity of electoral process, not only in Nigeria, but the entire African continent, is Dr. Daniel Omofoma giving us insight on this. Doctor, now let's look at, you talked about the uniform man, and sometimes they are brought in either a week into this exercise, and after that, nobody talked about. How can such people, like stakeholders that you just mentioned from the NYC, how can such people be kept on regular monitoring as to prepare them to take them out and to give them the orientation of integrity?
Great. And that's the major objective of EIPA. That's the Election Integrity Promotion Alliance, which was unveiled and inaugurated. And good thing we have all the right stakeholders on the table. So now, we're not going to wait for the off-election cycles or the election cycles to come up. We're going to hit the ground immediately. We've identified the critical stakeholders. We know what the gaps and the challenges are. So we're imbibing into the training, the recruitment process, the selection process of personnel, officers or personnel, rank and file, that are going to be involved in our election process. We're imbibing into their training, integrity, of their personal integrity. You have to put your integrity on the line. So we're going to take it between now and 27. We're very sure we're going to cover all the critical stakeholders, the law enforcement, even the media, the journalists. We had the NUJ represented at the round table. So we're going to come up with programs that will ensure misinformation, that will curtail misinformation. We're going to come up with programs for the law enforcement, like the police, the civil defense that are in the forefront. We're going to come up with programs. We're going to decorate them. We're going to celebrate them. Then we're soon going to have integrity ambassadors coming up soon. So we're going to bring in everyone in so that at the end of the day, we don't have an election cycle by 2017 where we'll still fall back to all these challenges of money up front, no money up vote buying, and other misinformation. So we have quite a lot to do, and that's why we're starting early.
Just a few days ago, we heard what happened in Plateau State. If your organization was on board before the election, what would you have emphasized on?
Yes, as part of our task and objective, it's judicial reforms, electoral laws and reforms. We're looking at how can we reform, what are the gaps, what are the lacunas in the current act, how can we interact with the judiciary, the legislative, to see how we better bring in their own integrity. Right. Then also we have the political parties on the table, the Interparty Advisory Council. They are part of the round table, so we're bringing them on board to ensure that party primaries are done the right way. Every party primary must align with some sort of integrity. So once you're presented as a candidate, you are a candidate with integrity. You are a candidate that have gone through all the rigorous test, including the integrity test. And also, we believe working with the National Assembly, we'll be able to make some amendments, and working with the election management body, we've seen the gaps, and we'll be able to come up with the right guidelines, the right laws that will enable free, fair, and credible elections.
Nigeria is on the way to get it right, and my guest here is Dr. Daniel Omofoma. Let's take a break. When we come back, we will still look at issues and steps to take to ensure that our nursing democracy become a household for everyone, and of course, the entire continent of Africa. Don't go away. This is Global TV from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. If you're just joining us, the program is Midday Insight. Of course, it's coming away from Nigerian's capital city, Abuja. We are looking at Africa Electoral Integrity Initiative, which has Dr. Daniel Omofoman as Executive Director. He was part of the presidential election politics and campaign, and we are told that he's preparing for the next one. But Doctor, I have a question for you. Is it that you are only responsible for the federal election, that is the presidency? What happened to the local government? What happened to the state government as well as the legislators? These are all Nigerians and they are all part of the democracy.
Yeah, truly, that's true. And like I earlier mentioned, the EIPA, that's the Election Integrity Promotion Alliance, has the state election management body and the federal election management body. So we're pulling all critical stakeholders because we cannot leave the federal, the state and the local government elections out. Right, so by the time we get it right at the center, then we can decentralize the same template, using the same template to the state to ensure that the integrity of the state election management body it's ensured, and also the integrity of the state election stakeholders, because these electoral stakeholders are mainly the election management body and the law enforcement. Nigeria is a civil state. If you ask Nigerians to queue on a straight line by 8 a.m., they'll be there. So you want to make sure that while they are waiting, you bring the materials. And while you're bringing in the electoral materials, there's no compromise. So this is what we're doing. It's quite huge, but I can assure you between now and 27, we will make a difference. We'll be able to reduce the challenges to barest minimum.
Doctor, let's look at a country that has 36 states, including Abuja, 37. In this figure, how many of these states can you boast about your program or your body?
Okay, in the build-up of 2023 election, we launched the No to Vote buying campaign because the African Electoral Integrity Initiative has 36 state coordinators, and by the special grace, we are almost approaching 774 local government coordinators. So we've decentralized the network, and we're making sure that at every ward we have an integrity ambassador representing the African electoral integrity. And by the grace of God, we have the privilege of working with the Nigerian Volunteer Service, which is still under the office of the Secretary to the government, and we have access to as many as possible volunteers. So work with volunteers, and working with NNVS has given us the opportunity to assess more than 5 million volunteers across the country. So all we need to do is to develop program, raise the budget for the program, source funding for the program. The network of people that will take the program to the grassroots, they already exist. So we're leveraging on the existing network. And in the coming year, we already have in talks with the NOA, National Orientation Agency. We're still going to leverage on their network because we know they have town criers across every community in this country. So we'll leverage on their network for voter education and voter education mainly, yes.
This looks very, very huge in terms of budgeting and so on. Where do you derive your monies from, Doctor?
Currently, we have support from interested organizations within and outside Nigeria. And for the fact that we're working with the Political Research and Constitutional Matters Department with their technical partners, and then we just got the U.S. government in the last roundtable meeting. We're still reaching out to corporate bodies. We're reaching out to individuals to come join hands, because our programs are not programs that we need all the big budget. No, we have volunteers. I'll give you an instance. If you are from Niger State and you're interested in free, fair, and credible election in your state, we have a non-partisan approach. We have designed a non-partisan approach. So our volunteers don't sell or support any particular candidate. Our program is straight and straightforward. Our core focus is ensuring that the electorate, the people, they go out on the day of registration and they get their voter's card, and they come out on the day of election and do their voting. So you can say, okay, like they say no to vote buying. We designed the stickers. We worked with the Keke Association, and they provided us a large network of Keke across the country. And we just stick it behind the keke. So they will use the Tricycle Association of Nigeria, will leverage on their network, and majority of them gave their tricycles, their keke, for free, just to stick the sticker, because we had the say no to vote buying in Pidgin, Standard, Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo language. So it stick there. It went all the way around the 36 states before the presidential general elections. So our programs are designed not for huge budget, but for minimum budget, but maximum impact.
Doctor, at what point will you say you have made the objective? Because looking at Nigeria, quite a large country, at what point we don't want to beat your hand on your chest to say, my organization has done this?
Since inception, we have done quite a lot. We have achieved a lot working with Political Research and Constitutional Matters Department. And we believe between now and 27, we're going to ensure that the integrity of the critical stakeholders, that's our core target, right? Not the materials, not the technology, but the people handling the materials and managing the technology. We want to put them through a process. We have to educate them, let them know that they are the owners of democracy, not the voters. Because I can vote and you make my vote not to count. So we are putting democracy in their hands. This means we're going to bring change management. So between now and 27, we'll achieve a lot. Yeah.
So you mean somebody can vote and then, when you say you make my vote not to count, is it from the electorate or those who will go through this process?
Of course, I mean, if you're the person in charge of handling the ballot papers, and you give me a ballot paper and I cast my vote, and you waste my vote.
Okay, look, Doctor.
Personal or otherwise reason.
Okay, let's come back home here to reality. Where did we get this wrong as a country, and where are we heading to?
Yes, I believe as a country and as a continent,
there's a hope.
There is hope.
Okay.
Yeah, there is hope. I have hope. That's why I'm involved in this. There is hope in Africa, and there is hope in Nigeria to take the lead in democracy. We have the numbers. We have the goodwill. We are good people. Like the former Minister of Information would say, late Dora Akiluyi of blessed memory, good people, great nation. We have the good people. We have people with goodwill. We just need some extra push to ensure the political will. That's the challenge.
As a country in Africa, are we really in our position where we should be as a country, the leadership of Africa? Is Nigeria still steering it?
Yes, we are in so many areas in terms of, I'm not an economist, but I can tell you in terms of economy, we're doing well individually. Collectively, we might be having an issue as a state in terms of GDP fluctuation and our FX challenges, but Nigerians individually were standing out across the globe, across different subsectors, and we're taking the lead. And don't forget, we're such a unique country. All over the world, this is the only country where you have almost 250 ethnic groups. So it's not going to be easy for us to have that immediate understanding. And in the long term, we will have to domesticate democracy. That is the drive. The model, the template that will work in the West will not work in Nigeria. I keep telling people, Nigeria is a unique state. If you're bringing anything to Nigeria, you must do it the Nigerian way. And doing it in the Nigerian way, this means you're speaking everybody's language. That's the only way you can get compliance and get them to listen. So it's a big task. It's a unique state.
It is a big task and a unique one in that. Talking about the Africa Electoral Integrity Initiative, where the Executive Director, Mr. Daniel, is giving us insight. Mr. Daniel, your body has beyond Nigeria. Let me ask, do you have offices in some part of the continent?
Yes, the African Electoral Integrity Initiative was fully incorporated in the state of D.C., Washington, D.C., by a group of Nigerians in diaspora. I'm one of the founders, and I'm the regional director in Africa, in the sub-Saharan Africa. And then we have correspondents in countries in Africa like Ghana, where we have active democracy. Ghana and a few other countries in down south, up north, and the east of Africa. And then we'll continue to engage and spread out. But we believe if we get it right in Nigeria, then we'll have a template for other African countries.
If we get it right, and our prayers shortly, Nigeria will get it right. In Africa, as a leading country in the continent of Africa, it is expected that every good thing should start in Nigeria. And to reposition our electoral process, we are glad to have the integrity body working closely with key stakeholders that include the security agencies as well as the empire themselves, ensuring that they're free and fair election. Your assessment in the recent concluded election in 3 states, Kogi, Bayelsa, and Imo State, were people involved in these elections? Were there?
No, we had other programs we were planning for the EIPA official unveiling. If you notice, that was done 3 days or 4 days to the election. So we're focused more on bringing the stakeholders as at November 6th, and the elections was November 11th.
Were there a room of vote buying or selling vote?
We're not out there on the field. We didn't have that correspondence. But of course, in the mainstream media were issues, and we're following up from various situation rooms. There were issues of violence, vote buying as usual, definitely. Yeah, but that's why I keep saying, right, it is the job of the critical stakeholders to stop vote buying.
Okay.
Yes. Right.
So when we say vote buying, in the Nigerian context, what do we really mean, Doctor? With the hardship that is visible everywhere, so when we say vote buying, what's the gravity of the offense there?
Yes, by the special grace, I believe the Electoral Offense Commission will be coming up as the sole body responsible for prosecution of electoral offenses. Vote buying, it means inducing. Inducing is a form of inducement. It could be before, during, or even after the election. We've seen cases where you do the ballots and show it to a law enforcement agency. He confirms to the agent. It's a syndicate process.
Okay.
He confirms to the party agent, and they pay you afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be as much and as low. As much as 10,000 and as low as 500.
And you mortgage your entire 4 years.
That's where voter education comes in. That's where voter education comes in. At the grass level, we're trying to do that because now, Nigerians, not only Nigerians, African, even other countries, they're not saying that, truly, we don't have to sell our votes for a token. Because when you sell your vote, you cannot hold that person that is responsible accountable. So over time, I believe with knowledge and we're in the 4th industrial revolution, so the way information goes around, we'll be able to stop this sooner or later. Right.
The Executive Director of Africa Electoral Integrity Initiative, Dr. Daniel Omofama, is my guest on the program Midday Discourse on Global TV, coming away live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be looking at issues that has to stamp out, of course, the ugly incident of vote buying, and of course, looking at other means of ensuring that democracy has come to stay and making it a household name. Don't go away. When we come back, this and many more stories will be your way on the program Midday Discourse, Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. They have the responsibility, they have the duties, they have the mandate to ensure that Nigeria electoral process is in the free and fair from the beginning to the ending, on and off across Nigeria. To that end, a group of Nigerians have come together and put in place what I call African Electoral Initiative, Integrity Initiative. This body has the responsibility to ensure a free, fair election process in the country. The Executive Director, Dr. Daniel, of course, Omofama, is in the studio. Then let me ask you this question. This, again, is a big task. In bringing Nigerians together for this objective, how have you been able to achieve this? First of all, bringing them together to share their ideas.
All right, first, in the electioneering ladder, you have the first-tier critical stakeholders, right? The election management body, the political parties, and the law enforcement. Then you can scale up the media as well. These are the critical stakeholders that are directly involved in putting the process in place. The political parties were interfacing with IPAC, that's the Inter-Party Advisory Council. The election management body, we have the Independent National Electoral and the State Electoral Commissions. Then the law enforcement, we have two major stakeholders that are known on the day of election. The police and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense. They've all been invited to the Electoral Integrity Promotion Alliance. Right. So we're going to take it one step at a time in the pyramid, in the ladder. We're not going to engage the entire country in the initial process. The initial process is strictly for the critical stakeholders, and that is what we have launched on the 6th of November. We've called all these critical stakeholders, we've identified them, and we've called both the international organizations, the development partners as well. We've invited them to the roundtable, and that was flagged up by the government, the secretary to the government of the Federation. So now we're going to come up with working frameworks, templates, programs that will go down all the way down to the other levels or other critical stakeholders involved in the electioneering process.
Doctor, let me ask you this question. What about the politicians themselves? Do you have, is there a plan where you reach them? Because the issue in Nigeria is that for every election, it must end in court. People actually sometimes deny the issue of defeat, and everybody wants to win, and there's just one ticket. So do you have plans to meet this politician and say politics is not do or die?
Truly, yes. And like I said, the politicians, they all go through the political parties. So if we're able to strengthen the capacity of the political parties, today, I can categorically say majority of the political parties in the west of Africa don't have ideology. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you say that?
Because you get the ticket on party A and move to party B easily. Okay. Finish with party B and come back to party A easily without any, so we're going to build the capacity of the political party.
Will that be contrary to the freedom of belonging?
No, freedom of association is different.
Okay.
For you to belong to a political party, there must be certain minimum requirements.
Like what? Like not to leave if your political party is no longer...
not to deviate from the ideology of the party.
Okay.
Because we've seen cases whereby you use party A to get a ticket, you go in there, they mobilize for you. The party gets the law, right? Yeah. The electoral law first identifies the party before the candidate.
Okay, the party comes first.
First.
Okay.
Yes, because you're in the ballot paper, there's no candidate. Yeah. It's the party.
But the law says if you're not comfortable with your party, if there's crisis in your party, you can move to the next party where you feel it's more okay as a Nigerian to execute your office.
Truly. That same law needs some sort of amendment.
Okay.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. We need to amend some of those laws to suit the modern day politics. because we're growing by the day. We're in the fourth industrial revolution. That information is at the speed of light, so we cannot afford to run the same party system we did in the early 60s. We have to scale. We have to bring in modern ways of doing things and look at what are the global practices, the best standards. How can these political parties even have a more robust register? You've seen cases where a governor is not on the register of a political party. You understand what I'm saying? So first, he's not a member of that political party, but he ran under that party, won election under that party. So you don't expect the judiciary to do otherwise.
And he can as well dump the party if he so wish.
I mean, the law has dumped. The law has caught up with him.
Yes.
So that's the case where we are now.
So what your body is going to put is going to enhance a law or a bill, but this bill must be subjected to yes.
Yeah. First, we're focusing on the Inter-Party Advisory Council.
Okay.
Where every political party is represented.
And every party has this department. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's a council formed, is like a body of political parties.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So
okay.
once we are able to look at how we strengthen the council, their own capacity, then we organize further capacity building training for the political parties, state chairman, local government chairman. Every political party is supposed to come up with its own ideology and have a comprehensive membership database. If you are leaving party A 1 week to election, party B will not accept you.
Okay.
Yes.
But let's look at the situation where the political parties are the one canvassing, the political parties are the one lobbying, the political parties are the one persuading members to come from party A and find themselves in party B. And when that is done, they throw a party. It's always a reception to say, the big fish has come to our party.
Truly. And now you can see how that is now affecting them.
Is it affecting them?
Yes, of course. I give you the case of, what's it called? Kano.
Yes.
You can see what is playing there. Yes. So, I mean, when a political party has a defined, clear-cut ideology, they cannot go contrary. Right? This means for you to be a member of that political party, first, you must have its handbook and you must pledge allegiance to that party.
Doctor, what is the big deal that if I come to your party and I look at your policies and I say they are okay with me, and I jump into your party and I go into the poll and I'm declared winner, and then I decide to come back to my root? How would you know my future from day one to say, no, we wouldn't accept this person? And will you turn your back against a candidate you truly believe that he's coming with all that it takes to win an election? Would you say no to such a candidate?
No, it depends on the process.
Will you impose denial?
No, if that candidate is coming when we have closed as a party, we have closed our books and records and submitted names to the election management body. There are time frame from everything. You can't leave it open-ended.
But of course there are time frames.
Timelines. So, but you have seen cases whereby the political parties backdate membership, etc. There's no integrity in that process.
Should the primaries be the deadline for that? After
the primaries, they should have maybe a period of time for any form of amendment. Right. And there must be a close end. If it's open-ended, that means if I'm not competent enough in party B and I have enough resources, I come to party C, woo them with my resources. They undermining my incompetence, and they take me and give me their ticket.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not right.
Dr. Daddy, right here, the program Midday Discourse, Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. We are looking at what to do to improve on our electoral process in the country. And of course, you know, the presidential election is just not too far from here. And so the organization is putting in place methods and programs to enhance integrity in the country. And they have a big attacks because they are in charge of the entire continent of Africa, where many believe that the third world country democracy is still crawling. Doctor, let's come back home here, because you rightly said that if Nigeria gets it right, the entire continent of Africa will get it right because of proper leadership. Now, you are saying that a man who that is fired home should be allowed to move to any political party, and that party should be able to welcome him. But you are canvassing that you are going to work with the political parties and major stakeholders to have a time frame. But I'm saying that there is already a time frame. It's just that politicians celebrate newcomers who come flamboyantly and who come with the hope of guaranteeing a ticket.
It falls back to having the minimum standards. Right. First, what is the process of registering a political party? You need to do the review. Who are the trustees of this political party?
Okay.
So you must start from the foundation of the process.
Okay.
Not the, if you get the process over time, I think the last time some political parties,
that's if you have the database of all this.
of course, the election management body has it. So now, what it takes, it means the the Electoral Integrity Promotion Alliance will interface with the trustees of political parties. Working with IPAC, the Interparty Advisory Council. Interface with the trustees. These are the trustees. These are the people known by the system as the political party. So if the trustees of that political party, they can come together and agree that this is our minimum standard, our minimum requirement, and they gazette it, they put it in the Corporate Affairs Commission, and it's filed and it's there. And we take that minimum requirement to educate the politicians.
So the best you can do is, if you do not want to run in Party A, or if you are disqualified in Party A, you have to wait till the next time.
You have to look out for an available political party that still have the window and that you meet their requirement.
Yes, but all of them have been meeting their requirement. They don't just jump into any political party and a ticket is given to them. Some of them may be subjected to by-election. Some goes into their primaries. I do not think they just jump into.
I will tell you of a case, like I'm still making reference to the Kano case.
Yes.
Right. He meets the requirement, but he's not on the register.
Okay. Of that political party.
How did he meet the requirements? Like a member of the party, as claimed.
And such a person was allowed to fly the flag of the party.
That is what I'm saying. So we still need to go back to strengthen the capacity of the trustees and the NEC.
Who should be blamed in this case? Is it INEC?
There's no proper regulation, one. Two, the election management body, which is responsible for registration of political parties, need to do some extra oversight. They need to work with organizations like the African Electoral Integrity to build capacity. As the process, when a political party is registered,
yes,
there's supposed to be some sort of retreat for the trustees. Before they do the NEC, they do the Congress to select the national executive members.
But these trustees are always very few, maybe 10 highest. No political party has up to 10.
The trustees are the owners of the party,
yes,
as known by the Corporate Affairs Commission.
Yes, but
so even
but their number is too small.
That means that is even better. Okay. If the seven of us come together, that this is our party manifesto, we cannot go less, and we hand that over to the NEC, the selected ESCOs, the executive office holders of the party, and we stand our ground that this is our commitment to the states and our commitment to our registrars, which is INEC.
And if such a politician meets the demand of the Board of Trustees,
yes. First, the trustees, it's like...
You can't influence them? Is that what you're saying?
We can influence them.
Of course, that's exactly what is happening.
When I mean influencing them, we can build their capacity to make sure they have an ideology.
Okay.
And they pass it on to the NEC. And the NEC enforce it by not cutting corners.
So who has the final say to admit a politician in another political party? Is this the few members of the Board of Trustees or the larger body of the NEC?
Definitely the larger body.
The larger body. So the larger body can say yes, and the Board of Trustees can say no, and the larger body will go.
The Board of Trustees will help the larger body. The minimum standard.
Have we gotten to that yet? Nigeria as a country.
That is where we are going. Because if you and I own a business and we have a management team and we tell them these are our core values. Don't go beyond the standard. Don't go below the standard. They will implement it for us.
Let's look at the presidential election, which is coming up, and your body is truly responsible for presidential. What are those areas you think we need to dot the I's and cross the T's?
Back to the stakeholders. Educating the stakeholders, building the capacity of the election management body personnel to ensure that technology works, technology is reliable, technology is sustained.
Are you saying we've not given enough room for technology in the country?
No, we have given enough room. It's technology, the use of technology. You have three components: the people, the process, and the technology.
Okay.
If you have the right technology, you have the wrong people and the right process, it will not work.
If given a chance in the past election, which of these three you think need to be improved on?
The people.
The people, the people,
and the process,
and the process. And so your organization is responsible to put this right, because after 2027, I'm going to hold you responsible if we fail to correct it. So, what final word do you have for Nigerians as we wait for that moment to come?
Yes, I will continue to encourage my fellow Nigerians to be patient, to be supportive, to see Nigeria as our own, and not see Nigeria as a foreign country. Nigeria is unique. We can only solve Nigerian problem the Nigerian way. And also, I want to call on the critical stakeholders. Majority of you have received the invite to be members or part of the EIP, the Election Integrity Promotion Alliance. It is critical. We need to come together to define the rules, to strengthen the capacity of those that are directly or indirectly involved in our electionary process.
Nigeria is our country, collectively. So what does it take for one to belong? Because it sounds good enough. What does it take?
First, if you're within the age, you're eligible, get your voter's card, register. Get your voter's card ready. That means you are eligible to vote. That means you're eligible. So this means you have a say. You can exercise your civic right. One. Then two, in your own small community.
Yes.
Ensure that you're able to pass the information of good conduct. Basically, right? We have 4 interests in this country.
One.
Normally, the first interest is supposed to be our national interest, but unfortunately, it's the last.
Okay.
Right? So now we have personal, religious, ethnic, before national interest. Let's bring the national interest forward before our personal interest, our religious interest, tribal, ethnic interest. That's my final.
Dr. Dan, I want to say a very big thank you for finding time to be part of the program on Global TV this afternoon.
Thank you.
And I also want to assure you that Nigerians, Global TV will truly want to identify with you because building Nigeria is our motto. And as an institution, we are ready to partner with you so that Nigeria gets it right.
Thank you. It's my pleasure being here.
That's the size of today's edition of the program, Midday Discourse on Global TV. We have been looking at how to sustain democracy in our dear country, Nigeria, and a little bit of Africa. When next we come on board on the program, we will be looking at how Africa can get it right with democracy. Our guest is the Executive Director of Africa Electoral Integrity Initiative, my own very big friend, Dr. Daniel Omofama, who has been helping us to find lasting solution to Nigeria democratic system. Doctor, thank you very much.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Join us same time, same station on another fresh edition of the program, Midday Discourse on Global TV. And I am Clinton Agbo saying have a wonderful day ahead of you.